any and everyone who decided to tune in to my first YouTube video. If you don't know me, my name is Savannah. I'm 22 years old and I am here to tell you about the story of how I lost my foot in a train accident. A little over a month ago on June 8th, I had gone out for drinks, and then later in the night I decided to go on a walk, and I ended up walking down the train tracks. I know your parents always tell you not to walk on the train tracks, and now you know why. Where the train tracks are located, there are two freeways and the water's right there, so there's a lot of background noise. Keep this in mind. So as I was walking down the train tracks, the train was actually backing into the station behind me. So there was no horn and no light. Lucky for me, the conductor stuck his head out and yelled for me to get off the train tracks. I turned around and I saw that the train was like 5 feet away from me. And so I jumped to get off the train tracks, and I kind of just like dove straight down into the gravel and face planted, and my foot had got caught on the train track and the train actually ran over my foot. In the moment, I don't know if my body went into shock or what it was, but it was like somebody was shining flashlights in my eyes. It was the brightest white light I had ever seen. From there, the conductor actually came out and picked me up and put me in the train. He also took off his own belt and made a tourniquet so to stop the blood so that I didn't bleed out. And he put it on my leg, and then I do remember being in the train. There were two men with me in the train, and one of them was holding my hand and praying with me and asking me my name and telling me that everything was going to be okay. And at some point I must have blacked out, but the conductor called an ambulance into the next station because where we were located, it would have been really difficult for an ambulance to get to us. So he actually called in an ambulance to the next station, took the train to the next station, where he then handed me off. So I'd like to take a second and say that I wouldn't be here today if it weren't for those two conductors that were there and helped me through this situation. I swear I've recorded this video like 30 times because I didn't want to cry. In the train, I must have gotten a glimpse of my foot and then passed out or something, because by the time I got to the ambulance, they did not know who I was. They didn't know what happened. All they knew was that I was hit by a train, and they needed to get me to the hospital because my foot was very messed up. I'm talking like missing all the skin and missing 3 toes messed up. So once they got me to the hospital, I guess that was when they like took out a lot of the debris and the rocks and gravel and stuff like that. But I had not woken up yet. So fast forward 6 hours, it's about 7 a.m. now. The accident happened around 1 a.m. Sorry, I forgot to mention. But fast forward, it is now around 7 a.m. and I wake up in the hospital to a nurse asking me what my name is and telling me that I have just been hit by a train. At this point, I was in complete shock. I didn't remember anything. It was like I was in a bad dream or nightmare, I guess. So the nurse then asks me if I have a family that we can call. So we attempt to call my mother, who has a setting on her phone that sends unknown numbers straight to voicemail, so she didn't answer. Then we called my sister, who was asleep. Then I went to call my dad, but I don't know his phone number by heart. So then I called my stepmom, who's notorious for never answering her phone, and she answered, and I had to tell her all the news that I knew, that I had just been hit by a train and I was in the hospital. And she freaked out, but then she woke up my dad and let me speak to him, who then I had to tell the same news, and he freaked out. And like I said, I was in complete shock and I don't remember anything at this point. And my dad asked me, "You were hit by a train, were you in a car or were you walking?" And I actually had no idea. I said, "I don't know," because I didn't remember a single thing. It was the absolute scariest moment of my entire life. I'm so sorry. I said I wasn't gonna cry, I swear. So my dad then had to call my grandma, who had to call my mom and let her know that I was in the hospital. And this all went down while COVID was still going on, so I was not allowed any visitors in the hospital. If you've stuck around this long, thank you for tuning in to my first YouTube video. If you decide to stick around, you can hear more about my 11 days in the hospital, my amputation, my horrible hospital stories, living life as an amputee, and me getting my prosthetic, and everything that is in store for me and my future. So thank you again, and I hope to see you soon. I don't know how to end this. Bye.